Hello and welcome to Art with Mr. P. This week we're looking at a little bit of printmaking, and hopefully you will know that printmaking is very much about repeating marks so we create patterns. Now, if you don't have some of the materials that we're going to use this week, there is absolutely no reason why you can't use what you have readily available at home and create your own patterns. So you can draw what we're going to do instead of printing. Get creative, have fun. Okay, so we're going to print a house. The idea being that if you have a sheet of paper and you stick something onto it, so you raise the layer, then when you put ink or paint on, it will only be the raised layer that prints. Now, that might not make sense just in words, so I'll show you what I mean. Imagine we wanted to print a house. So here's the ground. I think there might be an interesting stone wall in front of it, just off the top of my head. That would go across here. We've got a fairly standard house for around these parts, I think. A kind of 1.5. We'll stick the front door in the middle-ish. Front door. We've got a window over here. We've got a window over there. We've got the bottom of the roof. We might have some windows in the roof, a bit like dormers, and we might even have a chimney. So there we have a house. We might have a hit and miss fence over here, whatever that might look like. Some bushes, maybe a path. There we are, one house. Now, what I'd like you to do is, using some cardboard, cut out the basic shapes. So for example, on this window I need a rectangle that's about that big. Yeah. So that's my window shape. And you can use a glue stick or you can use PVA depending upon what you have to hand, and you stick that down on there. The front door's slightly different, so I'm going to line up the card with the front door. It needs to be about that sort of size. And I put some glue on there and stick that down on there. Now, I did one earlier, save time, save you time. And it looks something like that. So you can see how I've made up all the shapes of the house using bits of cardboard. Okay, what I'm going to do next is actually get some paint. It may be that you have ink at home, I don't know. And I'm going to put this paint onto here very carefully and just on the raised bits, yeah? If you've got ink, if you've got rollers, use those. Okay, so here I am, quickly painting the card. Now, you have to do this quickly because you don't want the paint to dry too quickly. So I'm going as fast as I can, but being careful at the same time. On it goes. Top of the roof, the chimney. Whatever that is. Let's try stain diking at the front, if that's what that's meant to be. Could be paving, could be a wall. Okay. So That's about it, isn't it? Oh, no, that's what you don't want to happen. Put back in place. So be gentle with it. You want an even coating of paint as best you can. Okay, so we don't want any large blobs. There it is. Okay, right, now next I get another piece of paper. Okay, so I found some white paper. Here's some white paper, and I carefully put this down on top of my first piece of paper and rub it, but not too hard, making sure that neither piece of paper moves while I'm doing this. And then very carefully I peel this back. Okay. And what I've got here is a print of that house. Now I couldn't draw that and I couldn't paint that. But of course the glory of printmaking is that I can then go and get some more paint and I can go over this again and I can take another print. Now when this is dry, when your prints are dry, and you can do as many as long as your board survives, yeah, you can then come back to this and with a pencil, maybe a coloured pencil, you can start to add some detail, yeah? So it might be, for example, you want to put the roof tiles in, yeah? And that's your chance to use a special pattern called the Adobe pattern, where each brick or tile or slate supports the weight of all the others above it. So it's very strong, very good pattern that builders use for making strong buildings, yeah, that kind of thing. Must be a sunny houses. Okay, now you'll notice that the print there, of course, is the other way round. You see how the chimney is on the other side of the house now. Maybe this is the view from behind. So this week we've been looking at a spot of printmaking, and we've explored making marks and repeating those marks so they create patterns. And printmaking is very much about making patterns and the other visual elements of shape, colour and texture. Now, next week we're going to go 3D and we'll be exploring a little bit of sculpture work. See you then.